Then you should, my name is Jim Bailey, and it should be easy for you to remember. It sounds like Bailey, like Mayor Bailey. Okay. I'm a veteran. Well, first of all, I belong to the American Legion, as you can see from this. I'm a veteran of the 14th Armored Cavalry Regiment. I'm a retired corporate manager and business school teacher. I have a number of objectives for this morning. Number one, I want to impress upon you the importance of voting. Number two, I want to impress even more the importance of making an informed vote. There's no way that I want to tell you how you should vote, but I do want you to know something about the issues and make an informed decision, not just walk in there and pull a lever. And the third thing is we'd like to encourage you, and this is kind of what it's about, the whole week of purposes, and that's encourage you to give some kind of public service. We're talking elective office here. Okay, so on that note, to start, what percentage of eligible voters vote in our presidential elections? 30. How many? 50%? 30%. 30%. 60%? Huh? 60%? All right, here's the statistics. In the 2008 election, 62.5% of the eligible voters voted. In 2012, 58%. In 2016, 59%. And in the last presidential election, almost 67%. That's the presidential election. Now, how about off-year elections, like we had this year, when we're not running for president and it's mostly local elections?
In terms of the elections that are local alone, very few. In terms of the more state elections, it's probably a little bit higher, but nowhere near as high as the president.
Okay, you think it's a little higher?
Like 20%.
Huh?
20%.
20%. 15%? 35%. 40%. You guys, for the most part, got it. In off-year elections, and we'll just use the Chicago Cook County this year as an example. It's pretty typical. 35% of the people who had the right to vote voted. 35%. And only 60-some-odd% who could vote for president voted. Why is it so low, guys? What do you think? Why is it so low? Why don't people come out and vote? Huh? Apathy. Okay. No, you're stretching.
They don't think their vote will sway the election.
Their vote won't count. Well, let's come back to that one.
Some of them just feel like it's too much work.
Too much work. Okay, too much work, apathy. A little louder, please. Okay. All right. Let me ask another question. If only 62% or 60-some-odd% of people vote in presidential elections, and only 30-some-odd% vote in off-year elections, who are the people that vote, and who's the people that don't vote? Who votes?
The more elderly people.
Elderly. We call that senior. Yeah.
Those who feel, the people on the more extreme ends of their beliefs who.
On the extreme end, they feel very strongly about it, so they come out and vote.
Because then some of those who are like artisans and they concern themselves with the elections are more willing, like certain special interest groups and like that. People who really care more about getting laws passed, they will vote more in office.
Okay. So older people, senior people tend to vote more because they're interested. They've had their whole life. They've seen all these things that are going on, and they know it makes a difference. They know it's important. Maybe it's a little bit, if we talk about seniors, if they're retired, maybe they have a little more time. Maybe it's easier. People who have a strong opinion on the right or the left, or this party or that party, tend to vote more. So because they think that my vote doesn't count. I want to just comment on that one. Well, when we have millions of people that are voting, it's pretty easy, I think it's a cop-out, to say my vote doesn't count. Because if you really inform yourself, there are elections after elections where just a few people voting differently within a precinct, even within a state, make a difference in the election. Yeah, it's true. If your candidate loses by 2 million, 5 million, 10 million votes, you can say my vote didn't make a difference. Well, I would suggest it still made a difference and it sent a message to the party, to the person that a lot of people did or didn't like. But it can make a difference. It really can make a difference. So it's important that you vote. It's important that you vote. Well, maybe this low voter turnout is a good reason to have this class. And it's important to be informed about what you're voting for. None of you guys have a smartphone, right? Come on.
Yes.
You can react better than that. Every doggone one of you has got a smartphone, I assume. And a lot of you spend a good part of your day on that smartphone. It's hard for people that were born when smartphones first came into being to imagine life without them. And they do some wonderful things. We can get instant information on almost anything. One of the downsides of smartphones is it becomes easy to spend your life on that, and it takes away from some other things that maybe you should be doing. One of the even more difficult things about smartphones is you can get more bad information off those things than you can imagine. Because who can get on a smartphone and make a comment or say this is the way things should be? Anybody. And who often tends to get on a smartphone and say something like that? Somebody that feels very strongly about something, maybe they're very emotional about that. I would ask you to try your best, when I say be an informed voter, find out what the issues are and figure out where you stand on that, what you believe, and where the candidates stand on that. We're going to do a little exercise later that will kind of demonstrate the importance of that. But for now, vote and vote informed. Okay, how about requirements to vote? Anybody in here registered to vote right now? You guys are all probably 17 or pushing 18. And at 18, you can vote. Ever since 1971, we passed another amendment that lowered the voting age from 21 to 18. So you can vote. And you can probably, well, in Illinois, you can register at 17 as long as you'll be 18 on the day of voting. So who can vote? You can vote in U.S. federal, state, and local elections if you're a U.S. citizen. You might think about that one. There's some people would like to change that, so you don't have to be a citizen to vote. If you meet your state residency requirements. In Illinois, you have to live within the precinct for 30 days in order to vote. If you will be 18 years old on or before Election Day, and if you're registered to vote. Okay. Let's talk about registration. That's been a big topic for the last few years with people on both sides of it. Some saying it's been made too easy that a donkey could register to vote. Some are saying it's still too hard and it's an attempt to keep some people from voting. In order to register to vote in Illinois, you must be a United States citizen, be a resident of the jurisdiction at least 30 days prior to the election, be 18 before that election day, and that's basically it. And there's a lot of ways to register, and states are different in terms of the laws that they have, but it used to be that you had to go somewhere and register in person. And you had to give some identification, that's to prove who you are, and that you do live there, and that you're a citizen. Not true today. You can register in most states by mail. Some states you can register electronically. So registering to vote is pretty doggone easy to do. How election. You guys know that when you turn 18, there's a bunch of offices, you know what, that you can run for? Yeah. You might think about that one for a while. You can go online, 2023 Candidates Guide. If you want to run for an election, you want to consider it down the road, start to learn. This thing's like 60 pages long, and it tells you everything you possibly need to know about running for office. And some of you, I have no doubt, will run for office, and I encourage you to run for office. So it's kind of easy to do, and it's important. All right. So now we're going to have an audience participation exercise. How many people, raise your hand, are on their student council, high school student council? Okay, let's start with you guys. And I would ask you, if you're on your student council, but if you're running for some senior office here at Boise State, don't volunteer, because I don't want to interfere with your campaigning and all that for those offices. So I need 5 volunteers. 5 volunteers. You're members of the student council and would like to run. You will be running for president of the student council of a hypothetical school. Would like to see a hand over here? All right, you're one. Come on up. You in the back, you're 2. 3. 2 more. 4. Okay. You? Come. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so just kind of stand there, guys, and face your future constituents. All right. What's your name?
Jason.
Jason. Where are you from, Jason?
Leonard, Illinois.
Where?
Leonard, Illinois.
Where's Leonard?
Yeah.
Where is that?
It's about half an hour from Galena.
Okay. Yeah, I know where Galena is. I grew up in Quincy, and I've been to Galena, the ski thing at Galena. Put your name and your town under box 1. And you are?
Max.
Max. Where are you from, Max?
Yorkville.
Yorkville. All right. You know neighborhood. Okay. You put your name under box 2.
I'm Nick from Morris.
Nick from Morris. You know where Naperville is too. I used to ride a motorcycle down Morris. Motorcycles come out of Chicago, go through Morris.
There's a lot of motorcycles.
Yeah, you said, all right, put your name in box 3. And you are?
I'm Daniel and I'm from Gurney.
Gurney, okay. North of Chicago.
Yeah,
Up there.
right by Six Flags.
Yeah, I was gonna say the big amusement park. Okay, put your name in box 4. And
Will, I'm from Winnetka.
Will from Winnetka. Okay, Will, put your name in box 5. Okay, guys, you are running for president of the student council in a hypothetical exclusive boys' school. You're going to come back here and you're going to give a speech of 3 or less minutes, a campaign speech, to get your constituents to vote for you. You have 5 minutes to prepare your campaign speech. So, would you escort these 5 gentlemen outside? I ask you to stay apart. Don't talk to each other about it. Make your own campaign speech, and we'll call you in one by one to give your speeches. Okay, guys, you are the students in this hypothetical exclusive boys' school. And you're going to have these 5 candidates come in here and give their campaign speeches asking for your vote. And then we're going to vote on those 5 guys. And we'll be very nice to them because we thank them for volunteering, being willing to participate in that. There's a bunch of issues. You can create them in your mind if you want to, but it's really important for you to get the best candidate. Maybe there's an issue about priority parking in the parking lot for seniors, and somebody wants to change that. Maybe there's an issue about one of the coaches being a problem, and some of the parents have been complaining about the coach, and the students are going to want to register or weigh in with their opinion on that. Create your own, but it is important who you elect. So when they give their speeches, think about what they've said. Think about what you think of them and their judgment in terms of how they'll handle these issues. Your human needs. You'll be affected by your emotions, your feelings about the person, and this is what affects people in elections all the doggone time. It's one of the reasons, one of the primary reasons, that people get elected and don't get elected. You're way too young to know anything, not to know anything, but to remember John F. Kennedy. You all know who John F. Kennedy was. You know that he was a very popular president, although his administration was having some problems, and there was some question about whether he'd be reelected to a second term when he was assassinated. But it's pretty commonly accepted knowledge. John Kennedy was a war hero, and in his campaign, they played up John Kennedy and the fact that he was on PT 109 and it got shot out from under him, and he's pretty well credited with saving the lives of his crew members down in the South Pacific. John Kennedy was also a very rich man from a very well-known family. He was married to a beautiful woman, Jacqueline Kennedy. He had, I'm trying to remember, were all the kids born in the White House? He already had one. I guess little John was already born when he ran for president. And he was an extremely good-looking and charismatic guy. Now, I started to say, those things probably made a big difference in terms of his being elected in a very close election. His opponent, Richard Nixon, was generally not a real easy guy to elect. So I'm saying that a lot of people, maybe some women, voted on some emotion about, oh, I want to vote for John Kennedy to be president of the United States. And a lot of people didn't vote for Richard Nixon because I don't like him. I just don't trust him. So that maybe issues didn't play the most important part in their vote. And that's what I asked you down the road. Vote and vote on issues. I'm going to make a plea also. I'm a member of a particular party. I have particular views on things, but I don't like to be pegged as conservative or liberal or Republican or Democrat. Because I like to think that on each issue, I will weigh that issue and decide how I will vote based on what I think is the right thing on that issue. Now, I am influenced because of my basic values of they're either Republican or Democrat or conservative or liberal. But try to vote on the issues. So I ask you to think about that. And I ask you to try and think about that when you're voting here for our guys. We'll give them about another minute to make sure they've all had a full 5 minutes to prepare their campaign speeches. And then we'll start calling them in. And we'll call them in this order, and then we'll vote in that order. Could somebody check and see if they're, as long as they're, send in candidate number 1, Jason. Okay, Jason, they're all yours. Knock them on. You get 3 minutes.
Hello, gentlemen. My name is Jason Perlman, and I am running for president of Gilligan's Island High School. Some of my past qualifications include lower level positions at student council, as well as National Honor Society and leadership positions in sports such as track and cross country and quiz bowl, if you can call that a sport. If elected, I hope I can, with God's help, take advice from people of all opinions throughout the district. One of my wishes for this district is to start fundraisers to help local veterans, former law enforcement officers, and other first responders. They help keep our community safe and keep our country safe, so I feel like it is our duty to give back to them. And I feel like the school district is a great way to do that through things like coin drives, and other types of donations and things like clothes. I have been raised in the principles of honesty and integrity, and that is what I wish to bring to this office. If we can keep the student government transparent, it would help give our students a better idea of what we can expect going forward, and just feel like make everyone feel like they are involved in the student council. We'll work closely with other positions in the student council to establish fundraisers, meals, parties, whatever it is that we as a district decide that we want to do. I feel like we can make it happen just by including everyone, taking in opinions, things of that nature. Probably not important. Let's see. How much time do I have left? I didn't write it up. Another thing I feel like that is important is sports. High school sports can be an experience that you might only get to play sports in high school. Not a lot of people, at least compared to high school sports, get to play sports in college. So I feel like it is something that we can emphasize, make sure that our meals are nutritious, so that our athletes can perform at their best, get their best chance to succeed. Make sure to advertise our sports out of school. If we get attendance, the student sections can create an atmosphere that really isn't replicated anywhere else. A hometown high school sporting event, I haven't seen anything like it before.
20 seconds.
So I hope you'll take my words into consideration, and thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Sandy and Max from Yorkville.
What's this?
Okay, Max, they're all yours. 3 minutes.
This is definitely not gonna be 3 minutes, but we got a couple of jokes to start off with. So, how do basketball players always stay cool? They sit near their fans. What do computers snack on? What? Microchips. Why does Dracula not have any friends? Because he's a pain in the neck. But I think I should be your student body president because I'm involved in so many activities that I'll probably find something that I could vibe with you along. I do like finance a lot, but I do cross-country, swimming, and track. Cross-country guys aren't the most athletic, but I will try my best. I can move the ball around basketball, but I can't really shoot for my life. But otherwise, I will be the doer of deeds. I do not have many ideas, but I will listen to you guys. I won't shut any of you down, and I will try to get done what you guys want to get done. I'll push for hard as I can, and that's what I have. So thank you.
Okay, send in Nick from Morris. Okay, Nick, they're all yours.
All right,
3 minutes.
all right. What's up, guys? I wrote a little something down, but I'm doing the rest. So, my name's Nick Black. I'm from Morris. I'm here today to convince you guys why I should have your vote. I know this fictional school that we created like 10 minutes ago has many issues already that you have and I have, but it'll be my duty to get those issues resolved. All right, guys? Dude, that's all I wrote down. So, anybody got any questions? No? Yeah, what's up?
What sort of things would you plan for fundraisers?
Fundraisers. We can do bake sales. I know you guys like those catalog forms where you sell like pies or like popcorn or something.
What will you do about the lack of classrooms?
Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. Maybe outside. Give me.
Hey, can we do a fit check real quick?
Fit check? Alright, so shorts, Birkenstocks, Brazil jersey, like 2002. Ducky ones. Logan?
What do we do about the creepy coach?
Don't worry about it. It'll be alright.
What do we do about like the lack of textbooks and the textbooks that we do have being half broken and destroyed?
Use your phones.
We're going to whole infestations of bathroom.
It's a big problem.
Add more. You're right there.
Sort of an addendum to the bathroom. Why are we missing half of our journals?
Like on the toilet. You back there. Yeah.
Alright, quick question, so what are you gonna do about all the, summarily executions in the pool?
I actually signed like a legal binding where I'm not allowed to talk about it.
What do you feel your duties are as class president?
Just make it a good year, alright?
30 seconds. What are you going to do about the homeless people sleeping on walls?
Just let them stay, they need some place to stay.
What are you gonna do with the broken toilets that won't stop flushing?
You just tie your boots, I don't know. I got time for like one more question. Yeah.
When will our first caucus be?
Pretty soon.
Yeah, good.
Daniel, your name.
Alright guys, I'm Daniel Chaco. I go to Carmel Catholic High School. And I mean, like, you guys should pick me as president because I'll do stuff for you. You guys know that the bathroom upstairs, the toilet is broken and it smells terrible in there. I will bring that to the administration's attention and we will get that fixed right away. And on the lunch menu, we keep getting grilled cheese sandwiches that are dry as hell. We will change those to chicken nuggets each day on Monday. Yes. Your question back there. What are you going to do about the urinal problem in the bathrooms? We will get a janitor on that, I hope, as soon as possible. What's your question?
Again, I was asking this earlier, is that like a lot of textbooks and the books are outdated, they're old, or there's not enough for the students, so how will you solve that issue?
We will buy new textbooks, and we will take those old textbooks, we'll continue to use them, but we will use them as in like more of like put them in the library and like, you know, you can all use it as like a combined experience, you know. What's your question?
Okay, so there are three problems I'd like to bring to your attention.
All right.
Half of the urinals are missing.
Yeah.
The coaches agree. And the dean of city bronze. What are you gonna do about those?
I don't know if I have the authority to do anything about the deans, but for the coaches, I will empower the person that the coach was being a creep to go to administration and get that man fired. And we will get more urinals. As a big part of my policy is to fix the bathrooms. Your question.
Where are you going to get the funding to fix the bathrooms?
We actually have an excess amount of funds that are being spent on on the football program, and we will divert a little bit of those funds to the bathrooms.
30 seconds, 30 seconds.
And your question. We will engage, we will continue to create clubs that engage all sides of the debate and get them to cooperate with each other and try to foster a more accepting environment. What about you?
Will you add ice cream to dessert menu permanently?
Yes.
Man, last one, bring in Will from Winnetka.
Woo!
Alright, so what's up everyone? My name is Will. I forgot my phone in my dorm, so I actually don't know what I'm going to say in my speech because I couldn't write it anywhere, but that's alright. So, you know, I heard a lot of applause for these guys. I don't think I'll be able to replicate that because, again, I don't have the speech written on my phone, but I don't have that many qualifications, but that doesn't matter because my qualifications don't matter if I'm going to be your president. What does matter is that I will be listening to you. I'll be taking in what you want, your goals, your aspirations, whatever, take it in, give it to me, and I will help you accomplish that. And that's really, yeah, go for it.
All right, so we see we have a problem with homeless people sleeping in the halls. How do you solve it?
I'll give them my bed. I can sleep on the floor. They can have a bed.
They keep spreading the staff.
Okay, I mean, I don't think they'll stab you if they're sleeping, so that's that issue fixed. Go for it.
What are you gonna do about the problem of students eating the urinal case?
I can't fix that. I wish I could, but that's
What are you gonna do about one of the coaches? I heard he was like sniffing kids' hair during PE.
I can come up with something. I'm sure I could get someone to fire him, but hey, you're on your own for that one.
All right, so we already brought the creepy coach to attention, but there's also the missing urinals and the DT bride for both banquets. So what are we gonna do about those?
I think a missing urinal is really funny, so I'm not gonna do anything about
It's
that.
several urinals.
You have toilets. You have toilets for a reason. Just use those. You really need the urinal? Yeah.
Oh, where are some of my urinal cakes?
What are you gonna do to break the stereotype that student council presidents are power-hungry NHS kids?
I can't break that stereotype.
20 seconds, Will.
Do we know where the desks in Mr. Davis's room went?
No, I think he ate them, but you know.
How do you deal with the paparazzi photos showing that student county treasurer taking bribes from other students?
If you have enough spare money to bribe your student council treasurer, man, that's good on you.
Okay, Will, thank you. I need a volunteer to tabulate. You can count, right? Okay. All right. Now, guys, I know this is America. It ain't Chicago. You only get to vote once, okay? All right. Yes, sir. I want to go to relation.
What?
Hold on tight, guys.
Oh, hi.
Okay. Want to go for Max? Put him up high, guys. Nick from Morris.
Yeah. Hey, I served you all. Answer questions.
I think that's perfect.
Dan from Gurney. Dan from Gurney. And then Will from Wilmette. Well, Nick, I guess you're it. Thanks. Why did you vote for the candidate that you voted
He's a man who just brings more for the cannibalism problem.
for? What?
He just said he'll bring more for the cannibalism problem.
Okay, that's the only problem.
There's no way.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I wrote a bunch of notes that I wanted to hit, and my guy.
He is, okay.
The person I voted for, I thought just had the most memorable speech, or the most memorable.
Define memorable.
A lot of the stuff he was saying just stuck with me. I remembered a lot of his jokes.
You appealed to your.
Exactly. And it was just the most,
All right. Do you think, I think I know who you voted for, do you think that was an intentional thing on his part to appeal in that way?
I think that was definitely his goal with some of the answers he gave.
No, he's just a man of people. He's for the people. He represents us. He represents me.
All right? You like the fact that he really says, I'm for you, I'm representing you.
From everything I saw, the candidate I voted for seems to be a level-headed, logical person who would take into account what the problem is and find the best solution to the extent of power.
Level-headed, addresses the real problem and had solutions.
The one I went for, he one of the things on the fly, so something came up, he came up with an answer, and he checked all the boxes.
All right.
Yes, that's
I'm sorry. Well,
yes, us about our problems.
all right. Okay. All right, two more.
My guy I voted for was very charismatic in both the way he spoke and how the way he acted.
Charismatic. You already have one, I think.
He has great choice in jerseys.
All right. Go over here. We'll get you two guys and that's it.
Alright, the person I voted for was, in a perfect spectrum of ambiguous, but yet, making promises. So they didn't really fall onto either political spectrum, but, kind of directed everyone.
The person I voted for was the perfect Illinois politician.
All right, wait. What's the perfect Illinois politician?
Not offering any real solutions to the problems he's already had.
All right, okay. Now, hey, all of you five candidates, thank you for the approaches you took, because you really demonstrated the differences. Who was the first one? I think it was Nick. Correct me if I'm wrong. We came in and really started to go with the human side. They had various approaches. Turned it into a town hall meeting. What are your questions? Serious approach. I'm going to take care of the real issues, and I got a plan, and here's my plan. This is the kind of thing that you're going to hear in a real election. Now, you had 3 minutes. Granted, if this been an election, your school You probably would have known these guys, some better than others. But in 3 minutes, did you know enough about what they really do to make an informed vote? No. How many people who vote that 60-some-odd% in presidential elections and 30-some-odd% in off-year elections, how many do you think take enough time, enough interest, and enough effort to make an informed vote for the candidate that's going to be the best for that office? Just think.
Maybe like a quarter?
Huh?
Maybe like a quarter, not even.
I mean, I don't know what the answer to that is, but I'm pretty doggone sure a lot of people vote for pretty frivolous reasons or no reason at all. There used to be a story, I guess I can say this, in Chicago, kid. Well, this is true. This has been true in voting. In voting, well-organized areas, parties have people who go out and encourage people to vote. They'll take them to the polls. They'll do a lot of things. Now, it's illegal if they bribe them, but they'll take them to the polls, try and make it easy. Those kinds of things make a difference. But it shouldn't be the reason that you vote. It shouldn't be the reason you vote. Lincoln, after Gettysburg, says that this nation, that we want a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, shall not perish. That's very important. And guys, it's just so easy because we grew up in this country and we really haven't made it. Until you get some real exposure to the problems in the rest of the world and other countries, it's hard to realize how good we have it. But there's no other country in the world that is so determined. Now, I'm not talking about individual people, because the importance of this government is not the individual person. Yes, they make a big difference in what we can do, but the protection we have is that we're a government of laws, not a government of people. We have a legislative branch, pass laws. We have a judicial branch to rule on those laws. We have an executive who implements all of that. That's so important. But here's the other thing. This is a republic, not a democracy. It's representative government. Your representative has got to, should respond to what your wishes are. But he can't satisfy everybody in his district or state or whatever he's voting. You're electing him to a certain extent to use his or her judgment, best judgment. That's why we try and elect to elect the best people, the best employees to be your representative. Okay. We got about 15 minutes. Would you pass these? What you're about to get is, I just picked out some issues on my head that are going on in the country. Basically, this is basically oriented to national elections. But there are things that you might think about. What do you know about them? What do you want to know from the candidate before you would vote? These are also issues, some of you that were in here a little earlier, I said there's an afternoon class called Our Government. Our government, is it flawed? Do you want to change it? And I said, I really don't want that to be a seminar. I'm not going to stand out there and talk about our government and go into detail. First of all, if you want to do a class on our government, that's probably a one-semester class. And if you want to talk about our government versus all the other possible forms of government, that's at least a couple of semesters. The important thing to remember is that you have a right to vote on those in this country. You have a right to affect them. And you have, in the Constitution, in the Bill of Rights, you have guaranteed freedom. That's the one big thing that makes makes us so different than every other democracy or republic. We have, within the Constitution, guaranteed freedom of speech, religion, and so on and so forth. Now, does that mean we've always implemented them perfectly? Heck no. There's still people elected to these offices. And they will make mistakes, or maybe they'll be selfish. But the law always comes back eventually that we address those things in this country. So, what if you get after this class either this afternoon or tomorrow, wherever your students are, please bring in anything that you want to talk about. I'll particularly throw a couple things at you. There's some statistics that show a large number of millennials. A large number of millennials say they would prefer to live under a socialist system. I'm going to suggest to you that 95% of the people that claim that haven't got a clue about what a social system is. I do this all the time, and other people say, well, I really would like to vote for socialist government. Okay, what's that mean to you? Tell me what a socialist government is. No, we're not going to do it now. We'll do it this afternoon if you want to do that. But they usually don't have a clue. What tends to be their thought is they've heard that socialism is for everybody having equal. That's kind of an appealing thing to most of us. Well, others taught us to be nice to everybody and kind of help everybody out in need and all that. And so it's appealing. The idea of everybody getting the same is appealing. But that's just an idea. What are the programs? What are the policies that are used to do that? And how does it do that? That's where we have to make it complete. All right, questions like that. Another one I saw, a recent poll that said that a very significant, they polled two groups. I won't tell you what the groups were because I don't want to prejudice any political thing. But they polled two groups. The question was, if there was an invasion of this country, as has happened, they did this right after Russia went into the Ukraine. If there were an invasion of this country, like there has been to Ukraine, would you be willing to stay and fight it, or would you leave? A scary number of people said, I leave. That to me says they don't really understand what we're here for, what we've got here. So those kinds of questions, I really like to get the ones that mean something to you. Like I said, nothing loves limits. And whatever your opinion is, that's okay. All I'm going to say to you is I advise you to make an informed when you will. Critical thinking is the word that comes to mind. That used to be the big deal about all colleges taught critical thinking. We've got a long way from that in the sense that there's so much emphasis on getting a good job that pays well. College was really about to send our best and brightest to learn to think critically. So, if you come to the afternoon thing, that's what I'd like you to do. Come in with the things that you want to talk about. All right. We still got a little time. We're going to play a little game. If you know this game, if you know the answers to these questions, please keep quiet. Don't tell everybody else before we get to it. I'm going to read you. Who do you want to lead you is the question. And I'm going to give you three candidates I'm going to describe. And these are real people, and these are real facts. Candidate A. The voters kicked him out of office twice. He used drugs in college. He drinks about a quarter of brandy a day. That's candidate A. Candidate B drinks 8 to 10 martinis a day, chain smokes, is married, and has had several mistresses. Candidate C doesn't smoke, has an occasional beer, and is a decorated military veteran. How many vote for candidate A? How many for candidate B? Candidate B. How many vote for candidate C? Congratulations, guys. You just elected Adolf Hitler. Oh, yeah. informed voter. The first candidate that got kicked out of office twice, used drugs in college, and drinks a quart of brandy a day, anybody know who it is? Winston Churchill, that's correct. And the second one, 10 martinis, chain smokes, married, and has had several mistresses. Robin Miller. You get into some interesting questions when you're voting for people who have tremendous power. Who have tremendous power as the president does. How much weight do you put on their personal morals, performances, and preferences? And how much weight do you put on the policies that they support? How much weight do you put on their ability to implement? I mean, you can be the nicest guy in the world or have the best policies in the world, can't get anything done, what good is it? Politicians will sometimes say, this is tough business, and sometimes we have to be pretty tough, and sometimes we badmouth the other candidate instead of talking about what we would do. Well, consider a couple things. Number one, why did they do that? Because it works. Because we vote for them. So when you vote, don't do it. They also say, you know, I can't do anything until I get elected. So politics is a tough business. I said we really want to encourage you to enter politics, public service. But we're not going to try to tell you to be naive about it. We want you to understand what it really is. And it's even more important that you really get involved and do it. I got one more thing and I'll let you go. I'm running for president. Me, on a platform, I will give each and every one of you a 4-bedroom home, 2.5 baths, a quarter-acre of land, and a guaranteed income of $150,000 a year. You like my platform? Who's going to pay for it? We are! Huh? We are! Yeah. Don't ever forget, in this, there are very important things for the government to do that only the government can do. But remember, the government doesn't have any money. Only you have the money, they get the money to do things. And it's very appropriate that they do things. You misunderstand me. But they have one advantage. If we're talking about a private business, a corporation, a public business, any business, if they need to do something, if they're losing money, what happens? They'll raise taxes. No, I'm talking about a business now. They either go out of business because they can't pay their bills, or they have to sell more, or they raise the prices of the goods. But the government can do something else. They can raise prices. All right? So, just things for you to think about. Thank you very much for being an attendant audience.